I need all the wins, yeah. Ain't no L's, I gotta get a no call to quits, yeah. Gotta keep on moving no matter how hard it gets, yeah. Better move out the way, cause I'm coming with harder hits. My head is as hard as a brick, but I'm harder than all of this. You better move, you might get knocked out, knocked out. You better move, you might get knocked out, knocked out. You better move, you might get knocked out, knocked out. You better move, you might get knocked out, knocked out. My heart on my sleeve. Shield my greed. That's how I get it. Success ain't no giving. Some days I don't eat, I don't sleep. When I'm focused, I'm dangerous. They don't want it when I'm anxious. Ain't no limit till I tank. I'm running on fumes. The opposition don't amaze. The roads whistling through the pavement. Get your hands out of my bag. I know that's because I've been in it. I don't need to brag. I guess that's what happens when you taking care of your business. But some family, you do the math. I'm out of my pocket. Houston, we got a problem. I ain't perfect. Let them watch me elevating. Got them nauseous. Cause I'm the pilot in the cockpit. Nose diving in the house. And whoo. Watch how I get it here. Watch how I get it here. Watch how I get it here.
It's time! Welcome to DFS by the Numbers with your host, Brady.
Better move, you might get knocked out. Knocked out. You better move, you might get knocked out. Knocked out. You better move, you might get knocked out.
What is up, everybody? Welcome to DFS by the Numbers and welcome to Best Bet for UFC 283. We have a 15-fight card. Glover Teixeira, Jamahal Hill, the main event, the co-main event, Davis and Figueiredo, Brandon Moreno, 4. Should be a really fun card. Should be a fun panel. We have me, Weezy, and Gordo's going to be here in about 5 minutes, but we'll kick it to you first, Weezy. Weezy, what is up? You looking forward to the first best bet of the year for yourself?
Yes, I am, and I'm looking forward to this UFC 283 card. When we were talking about it before the week started, we were like, all right, 15 fights, but Faron ain't showing up. Abdurakhimov ain't showing up. There'll probably be one other casualty on the scales, and we'll have 12 fights. Wow, 15 fights tonight. This is a treat, man, and there's some real interesting spots here. Some great title fights, some great fights on the main card, but also before that gets started, we got the debut of the Bonfim brothers. Terrence McKinney's back. There's some really exciting fights on this card, so I can't wait to break it down with you guys.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a very fun card overall, and then hopefully it, Faron still could pull out. I mean, the fights don't start for another hour and a half. Shamil still can pull out, so but I think they'll be good to go. Weezy, I did want to bring this up before we get started. What is it? Ruben wants an oi there.
Oi! I'm fired up, man. I'm ready to go, dude. Let's do it.
Yes. All right. So before we get started, if you guys can please leave a like on the video, subscribe here to the channel. We go live every week for Best Bet 1 hour prior to the prelims. If you guys are new here, we did switch up the rules for this year, and I'm going to quickly go over them right now. So the rules for this year for Best Bets, you will have one hypothetical unit, and you're going to place that hypothetical unit on your best bet for each fight. You bet a total of 10 fights per show, and the other fights can be passed on. So last week we had 11 fights, so the guys only got to pass on 1. This week we have 15 fights, so there's going to be 5 fights that we can pass on. And then we're going to be sure to use current lines that are available at the time of the show, and the goal is to have 100 bets for each person or 10 shows a year for each guy. You will have the best bet of the card, and if you get your best bet of the card right, your profit for that best bet of the entire card is going to double, and then the standings will be updated weekly, and the one with the most profit at the end of the year wins. Winner gets $100 out of my pocket. Yes, I'm going to pay it. I'll make sure to. And then our guy Lou Betya is going to be making a championship best bet belt. And speaking of Lou Betya, he went out there, and the standings are down below, but Lou Betya went out there and he went plus 7.98 units to start off the year. So it's going to be probably tough to catch that for the first week, but I'm looking forward to it. We's looking forward to talking some bets. Should be a pretty fun show here.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we got such great fights. It makes it so much easier when the UFC puts on a show like this. So this is easy. We're just sitting back. We don't even have to prepare for this. We could talk about these fights all day.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure we could talk about Josie and Nunez, Faron for 1 hour.
Oh, it's a funny one. And somebody asked earlier, who you asking to the prom, Jessica Andrade or Josiane Nunez? And I'll tell you something, man. You ask Jessica Andrade to the prom because she's handsome, really handsome. But like Josiane Nunez, she comes up, knocks you out, and then while you're out cold, she dresses you in your tuxedo, throws you over her shoulder, and then pulls like a weekend at Bernie's with you at the prom and just dances with your lifeless body. That's how you wind up going to the prom with Nunez. So, yeah, I would much rather go with Andrade. I'll tell you that right now.
Yeah, I don't know if you saw my fight day post. I told you I was going to post it, the classic Andrade dancing. Yeah, she has some moves, man. I wouldn't mind
She
going to the front
does.
with her. I would not mind.
That's you could tell she enjoys dancing, and it just comes through 100% in that video.
Absolutely. So we'll get started. Gordo should be here within the next 5 minutes, but we'll kick off the first fight. Do you want to shout out the chat before we get started? We got Sean first one in here. We got Bill. We got Amsterdam. We got Propaholic. Tommy Unders. We got our guy Lou Betya, who is in first place of best bet thus far. We got Jan in the chat, Buff on the beat. We got Jay Bone in here as well. We got Monsta. We got Chris. We got a different Eric. We got Jay. We got Ammo, Dope Space Cowboy. We got Jack. We got AO, the Cuban Assassin. What is up, everybody? Flo in here, DJ in here. Lou Betya, Andrade would take you to a nice seafood dinner and then never call you back. I can see it, man. I can see it. And then do want to shout out our guy Propaholic for the $9.99. Appreciate you, Propaholic. Best of luck today. I know we're on a lot of the same spots there today. So, Wheezy, let us start with the first fight of the night. We have Daniel Marcos going against Simon Oliveira. We have Simon Oliveira minus 140. And Daniel Marcos is plus 120. What is your best bet for the first fight of the card?
Well, I'm ultimately going to pass on this fight, but can I just talk about a couple bets that I like here?
Absolutely.
Yeah. Okay. So, while we're waiting for Gordo, I guess this doesn't hurt, but, and we were talking about one of these bets, Brady, earlier, but the finish only prop for Simon Oliveira or the decision only prop for Daniel Marcos. Now, if this fight does go the full 15 minutes, Simon Oliveira in his career has an 89% finish rate. So that's only 2 wins by decision. And he's never been finished in his 4 career losses. So he's 2-4 in decisions. And Daniel Marcos is undefeated, but he only has a 54% finish rate. So it actually means that Daniel Marcos has a 6-0 record in decisions. So if you bet the decision only prop, it means that if the fight finishes inside the distance, it's just a push and you get your money back. But if the fight goes to decision, you're getting a big plus money number on Daniel Marcos, probably around plus 160 right now. And then on the other side, because Marcos has never lost a fight before, we really don't know what his durability is. But Simon Oliveira has never been finished in 22 fights, and he's finished 89% of his 18 wins inside the distance. So if this fight does finish inside the distance, I think it's much more likely that Simon gets the finish. And you could bet the Simon Oliveira finish only prop right now on DraftKings around minus 130. So those are 2 really safe bets, in my opinion, where you'll push if the other result happens, whether it's the decision only and the fight finishes, or it's the finish only and the fight goes to decision. And you're getting the most likely winner in both scenarios, and you're only paying juice in one of them. So I think they're both great bets. But ultimately, I'm passing on this one because there's other fights that I like more.
Yep, nothing wrong with that. And I agree with everything you said. Is the finish only minus 130 on DraftKings for Oliveira? That's crazy.
That's what I saw earlier today, and I had it at minus 135, but still, man, I think that's a really good look there if you're on that Simon side and you want a little safety in case the thing does go to decision and Simon doesn't get that guillotine finish or doesn't land a big shot. And on the other side, you got to worry about Simon landing that guillotine if you're on the Marcos money line, but if you're on the decision only prop, it looks a lot better and a lot safer.
Yep, and that's where I'm going, Wheezy. I'm going with the Daniel Marcos decision only at plus 150. So it was plus 165 last night. It has moved a little bit. But yeah, like you said, I mean, if this fight goes to distance, Oliveira's 2-4 in decisions, whereas Marcos, he's 6-0. And I think Marcos has a good chance to be the minute winner here. And the reason I did not take a shot on that Marcos dog line, like a lot of people did, was the threat of the submission of Oliveira, right? And if this fight does finish inside the distance, that decision only bet is going to be voided. So I took that route. I took the Marcos decision only. Plus 150, and I'm going to put 1 unit on that. So that's my first bet, Daniel Marcos decision only plus 150, and then Wheezy is going to pass on the first fight of the night, and then Gordo, he just texted me. He's going to be here very, very shortly. But let's see what you guys in the chat are saying here for this one. Minus 130 on FanDuel for the Simon Oliveira finish only. Yeah, if you like Oliveira, I would not hate that finish only whatsoever. I think that's a really good look. Yeah. Propaholic agreeing, saying great looks, Wheezy. Jan saying the Marcos money line is good enough. Yeah, it could be. It could be. We'll definitely find out soon. Macho is on the Marcos decision only plus 130. Andy's saying he loves himself a good finish only. Yeah, me too, man. I love those bets. And then great value on Marcos money line. Yeah, Marcos actually opened up as a favorite. He opened up around like what, minus 150. It's not
I
loaded,
was surprised about that opener because, I mean, just on paper, Oliveira is more experienced. He's fought the better brand of competition. He's by far the better finisher, so I was kind of surprised with this guy, having a 3-inch reach advantage as well, that, he would open that big of an underdog to a guy in Marcos who we've seen fight once in 3 years, and it was against Brandon Lewis on the Contender Series. So, yeah, this is an interesting fight. It's just one I don't have a great handle on, unfortunately.
Yeah, I feel. Well, let's see if you have a great handle on the next fight. Oh my gosh, no, Josie and Nunez, Zara Faron. Oh my gosh, we have Nunez minus 550. Zara Faron is plus 400. Yeah, for me, I think I do have a best bet. Let's see what I put for this one. So I do have a best bet here. I don't feel great about it. It was a borderline pass, but I will give a best bet for this fight, believe it or not. The best bet, honestly, is probably just not betting it, especially from a money line standpoint, because Josie and Nunez probably shouldn't be minus 550 against anybody. And then do you really want to put money on Zara Faron? You probably don't. For me, I'm going to take a shot on the under. I'm going to take a shot on the under 1.5 at plus money, plus 122. I think Nunez finishes her in the first 5 minutes. I know that Nunez is going to get a big height and reach disadvantage. We saw that at the weigh-ins, but we also saw that against Bay Malecki. And I was, saying last night, like, Faron could be 8 feet tall. I probably still wouldn't put any money on her. I just don't think she's that great. She has not been in the cage for a while. The last time she did, she got finished in the first round. I think Nunez starches her in the first 5 minutes. So give me the under 1.5 plus 122. I don't feel amazing about it, to be honest, but Nunez should go out there and finish her early. So I'm going to take that for my best bet. Wheezy, I have a feeling you might pass here, but we'll see if you have anything here for this one.
No, man, I'm going with the under as well, Brady. I mean, it's actually in my greasy 4-leg parlay this week. The very first leg of it this week is the under 2.5 rounds. It's a safe leg. You're paying some juice on it, but I don't think Zara Faron wants to be there. And I was telling Brady yesterday that I have a little theory about what happened at the weigh-ins. I think that Faron actually weighed in around 154 or something. And since she was the last one to weigh in, I think they fixed the scale so that no matter what, she would come in on weight because she looked a little confused. Now, she always looks confused. So that's not necessarily an indicator, Brady. But I think that, like she got on that scale, it said 146. She was as shocked as everybody else that she actually made weight. And then as she was walking away, an official walked up to her and goes, "You're not getting out of this one, ho. You're showing up for this one." So because I don't think she wants to be here. And I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if they fixed the scale and just made her fight. I don't know if she doesn't show up, I want the cash on the under 2.5 too. So, and you would get the under 1.5. You'd even get a better price. But I think we should both get paid if that happens because, I think Faron is out of her depth here. She's 39 years old and she hasn't fought in 3 years. And the last time that she was out there, she got her ass shaved in the very first round. Even Megan Anderson took her down and just styled on her. And Megan Anderson's a striker. So, Nunez under 2.5 rounds, just it covers the banana peel situation if something happens to Nunez here. But under 2.5 rounds, and it's like minus 165 on DraftKings is what I wrote down about an hour ago.
You said you're not getting out of this one, ho.
That's what, man.
It's so true, though. It's so true. Oh my gosh.
I think I'm so. Shocked. I don't think she wants to be here. I mean, when she was the last one to weigh in, I was like, she is not pulling this again. She is not pulling this again. But I really think they want Nunez to get a highlight reel knockout, and who better than against a skillless 6-foot stink bag of a fighter in Zara Faron. So let's see Joe Benavidez get 3 in a row here.
I'll say this. I have a really funny tweet ready to go if Josie and Nunez wins. So just another reason to root for Josie and Nunez. I have a really funny tweet that I think a lot of people are going to like, including myself especially. Let's see what the chat's saying. Let's see. Faron is just awful. Yeah, I mean, it's bad. It's bad. Faron is being sacrificed to this store. That's kind of what it looks like. Shanna Dobson 2.0. You better put some respect on Shanna Dobson, man. Stink bag. And I get why Clint bet on Faron. I mean, should Josie and Nunez be minus 550? No. So I get why people are taking the shot with the size advantage and all that. See if I missed anything else here. All right. Uh-oh. He's here. Gordo.
Yay.
What is up? How you doing? Yeah, sorry about the time change. I don't know why UFC changed the time, but it is what it is.
No, dudes, I'm sorry for showing up late. That's twice this week I've been late. But in all fairness, they did switch it last minute.
And now he's frozen. Gordo, you there?
I was not late for nothing, right? Like I got something out of it. Oh, I've been talking. Yep. You're not being able to hear me?
Oh, you cut out for a second.
Uh-oh. Am I back?
Yep. You are back.
Okay, well, I'm going to switch Wi-Fis while I do it, but I won't be late next time. I'll just say that.
All right, gotcha. Yeah, go ahead and switch Wi-Fis, and then let's talk to the chat some more. Nunez is going to eat her what? I don't know about that. I think she can finish her. I don't know about that, though. Gordo. I've heard every single YouTube fight capper absolutely roast Faron this week, and I mean, rightfully so. Wait till Mandy Bum fights next week, but that's gonna be
bad. I bet on her, Brady. I bet on her once. It's one of the most shameful things I've ever done in my life. It was only a 1-unit loss, and I still haven't forgiven myself for it. And I don't think I should either. I don't even think I'm being rough enough on myself for betting on Mandy Bum versus Ariane Lipsky. I'm going to get that crocheted on a pillow so it just keeps me humble for the rest of my betting career.
That was bad. But I don't know. That was probably one of the worst bets. But it couldn't be better. It couldn't be worse than Gina Mazzani against Shanna Young. That was bad. but Gordo. So we're gonna catch you up a little bit. Me and Weezy went through the first two fights. So we can start you off with Marcos Oliveira. Do you have a best bet for the first fight?
Yeah, I'm on the dog here, and this is one of the bets I placed earlier in the week. I think that although Simon Oliveira is a guy who has decent submissions skills to win a fight at any given moment, I don't think he has the skills to justify being a favorite. I don't think he has good volume. I don't think he has good technical ability on the feet. And I don't think he has great wrestling at all times. So whereas I wouldn't mind him as like a dog play in terms of submission, because he's always live to go out there and snatch up a neck, the guy doesn't win consistent minutes for me. So he's not someone I can back at a favorite price tag. Therefore, I'm on Marcos. I think he's got some good hands. He's showed improvements on his time off. And I think that although he's a debutant fighter, I think the line was a bit too wide. So we're taking the money line on the dog to start the night.
What line did you get there?
I got plus 140. I didn't get the best of the line, but I still got indecent.
Plus 140. All right. So keep in mind, we're going to use current line. So it looks like the best price out there is about plus 120.
I'll take it.
Plus 130. That works. Okay. Got it down. All right. So Gordo is on the dog there, Marcos. Wheezy passed on this fight, and then I went with the decision only for Marcos at plus 150. All right. Next, we have Josie and Nunez, Zara Faron. Gordo, anything you like in here from a best bet perspective?
No, I think someone said in the chat earlier, I waited long so I could skip this fight, and that's probably about it. I don't think I'm really gonna look to play anything here. Just sit back, take a break, see how the Chiefs game is going, and I'm gonna take a pass on this one too.
All right, nothing wrong with that. All right, the hidden treasure. Can we get a rage session on which fighter has the lowest fight IQ in your opinion? I'm sure I can do that. I can do like a full hour episode on something like that. I remember doing like a full episode on like Lupita Godinez a couple months ago. That was fun, but not right now. We got to talk some best bets. All right, next we have Warley Alves going against Nicholas Dalby. We have Warley Alves around minus 132, Dalby plus 112. It looks like Warley Alves did open up as a pick'em. He went to a dog, and he's now a favorite here. I'm going to start this one off, and it's because I'm going to pass. I can't trust Warley Alves. I stopped betting on him a long time ago. Fairly inconsistent fighter. I think it's such a winnable matchup for him, but the inconsistency in the cardio is enough for me to kind of stay away. I'm picking Alves, but as far as a best bet, I don't really have one. I would typically like betting violence in an Alves fight, but Dalby's not a violent fighter for or against, so it's just a big stay away for me. I'm going to pass on this one. Gordo, are you liking anything for Alves Dalby?
Yeah, well, everyone who got Alves at a plus money shot, I don't mind it there. It's not available anymore. So to me, I'm on the under. And to me, it's a battle of the more consistent fighter who is not as talented versus the guy who is talented but very, very inconsistent. So I think it's either Alves early or Dalby late. Alves hasn't been to a decision since 2017, I believe. So we're taking the under 2.5 here. And I do think that although Dalby isn't the most violent fighter, it's a spot where it's more so a fade on Alves. And I think I'm going to take the fight doesn't go to decision, actually, and not the under 2.5, just in case more time to gas out. Best available. is
looks like minus 138.
Yep, minus 133.
33. Gotcha. All right. So Gordo is on the Dalby Alves fight. Doesn't go. Minus 133. Wheezy, are you liking anything for this fight?
Yes, I have a tracked bet on this fight. It is the Worley Alves money line. I think I got him at around minus 120. The best I saw before Showtime was minus 128 on FanDuel, but if that's not there, I think it's minus 130 or something. I think Alves is much more likely to finish this fight than Dalby. And when you look at the skill sets of both fighters, Dalby's just not winning minutes at this level. He really doesn't. He can win some minutes in a distance striking battle, but even the fights that he's won, in particular the Daniel Rodriguez fight, I mean, I didn't think he won a round of that fight. I don't know how he got that decision. So I see Worley Alves as a high percentage wrestler when he does choose to wrestle. I also see him landing the bigger shots on the feet here. So I really think unless Worley just empties the gas tank trying to finish Dalby early and then is unable to do that, that might leave the door open for a Nick Dalby finish late. But let's not forget that Nick Dalby's never finished anybody in the UFC. He's never finished a win. So, it's very unlikely that Dalby wins this fight. And I'm just really liking the Alves money line this week. So that's what I'm going to be betting.
All right. Weezy on the Alves money line. Gordo's on the fight doesn't go. And I'm going to be staying away from this one for the most part. Macho saying took Alves finish only at minus 177. That was also something I was potentially considering, Macho. Embo saying I think it's Dalby late. Andy Mush saying Dalby decision only. I seriously doubt Worley's minute winning ability. Sean saying Alves is literally fighting 400 meters from his house if there's ever a hometown narrative. All right. Oh my gosh. Look at this. Adrian, shout out to Adrian, a huge supporter of the channel, saying, Happy New Year, fellas. Let's destroy this card. Brady, check your IG messages more often. Yeah, I'm not too active on IG, but I'm super active on Twitter. So if you ever want to reach me quickly, it will be on Twitter. But yeah, appreciate you, man. I'll get on Instagram and see what's up, man. So appreciate you for that. Does mean a ton. All right. Let us move on. We have Ismael Bonfim going against Terrence McKinney. We will start with you, Wheezy. What are you liking for this fight here?
Uncle Weezy's ass shaving of the week is Terrence McKinney. So I'm going with the Terrence McKinney money line this week. He's a very difficult guy to deal with. And if you don't have really, I believe, top 10% durability, you're going to have a hard time dealing with this dude and the chaos that he brings when he walks into the cage. So I'm looking for Terrence to go in there and make quick work of Ismael Bonfim. But we will see, dude. This guy Bonfim is for real. He hasn't been finished or lost since 2014, and that was against Renato Moicano. This kid's been a professional since the age of 15. I think he's a very good fighter, but I think Terrence McKinney is, in the top 5% of fighters and in the UFC in terms of athleticism and just pure explosiveness. This guy is very, very difficult to deal with. He swarms. And if you're not incredibly durable, I think Terrence gets you out of there early. And I think that's what's going to happen tonight.
I'm sorry. What was your bet on that? I was typing.
It's just the Terrence McKinney money line at minus 115 on DraftKings Sportsbook.
Gotcha. So Terrence McKinney money line minus 115. Got you there. For me, this is going to be another pass here. I actually really like the under, but minus 228 best price, minus 240. I don't want to give that out. So it's a pass for me. I expect violence here. McKinney's been over once his entire career. I think this fight does finish within the first 1.5 rounds. Whether it's McKinney early, whether it's Bonfim late, I think somebody's getting served here, but it's not a really playable price, and I'm cool on passing on this one. Gordo, anything you liking on this fight?
Yeah, well, don't get me wrong. This is one of my favorite fights of the card, but I don't think I can give out a best bet on this one. The lines have been pretty inflated, and it's going to be a pass for me. I think it's a spot where I do like the under. I think I played the under 1.5 here in my real betting card, but when I'm looking to compete, when I'm looking to catch Lou Betya, I can't be giving out minus 200s here, right? So we're gonna stay away from this one. We're gonna hope for violence, and it's not like I don't have a ton of DraftKings involvement in this fight, anyways. So pass for me on the show.
Yeah, that's exactly how I'm feeling. We got to catch Lou Betya, and we're not catching Lou Betya giving out a minus 250. That's for sure. So I'm gonna pass, but I do really like violence in this matchup. First round, Terrence McKinney, KO hedge with Bonfim inside the distance. Yeah, I'm not sure what McKinney round 1 is, but it's probably a solid look depending on the line. McKinney in the first or second round, a plus 153. That's a really good line, Jan. Boston Center got a plus 130, plus 335 for first round for McKinney, and then plus 150 on Bonfim. Yeah, that's a good first round prop for McKinney at plus 335. What's up, Razor? How you doing? Good luck on the fights today if you have any bets, man. But I know you got to have some NFL bets for sure, though, and the good luck on those. No NFL for me today. Anyway, McKinney fights patient for once. We haven't seen it yet, but you never know. Anything can happen. All right. We'll move on to the next fight here. We have Cody Stamen going against Luan Lucerda. Stamen, pretty big favorite at minus 400, and then Luan Lucerda is plus 300. I will kick this one off. I'm going to take the fight doesn't go to decision here. I'm going to take it at plus 150 here on Bet Online. The reason being is Cody Stamen has fought really good competition. He's fought the much better competition in this matchup, and it's not even close. He's fought guys like, Aljamain Sterling, guys like Jimmy Rivera, guys like Merab Dvalishvili, guys like that, Saidar Magomedov. And he's taken a big step down here fighting Luan Lucerda, who I think is a phenomenal grappler, but I think he's just that, a phenomenal grappler. I think Stamen should have the edge in the striking here, and Lucerda is going to have the edge in the grappling. Like, if Lucerda's to pull off this upset and win this fight, I think it's going to come by submission. So I think the fight doesn't go covers that side of things. And I also wouldn't be shocked if Stamen gets a late finish here. Stamen got a knockout in his last fight against Eddie Wineland when he took a step down. This is another step down from the guys he's been facing. So I like the fight doesn't go plus 150. I think somebody does get finished here, whether it's Lucerda early sub or Stamen late knockout. Give me the violence side of things in this one, plus 150. Gordo, how about you? Is there anything you're liking in this fight?
Yeah, in this one here, I was debating between the under or Lucerda finish only, but I'll go the under as well. I have a similar inclination to you there. It's more so I am bullish on the Lucerda finish here. I do think it's more live than line and tails. I debated taking a stab on the sub at plus 600. I do know it's a huge step up, but we're gonna see how this one goes, and I completely agree. I think that Stamen is a decent dart throw too on DraftKings to be solo owned, but I do think a finish materializes, so run the fight doesn't go here as well.
All right, Gordo rocking with me on that one. Wheezy, what are you liking for this fight? Anything?
Nothing, man. I don't like anything for this one. I'm just going to pass on it. I think one of the cheekier bets is, a Lucerda sub at like plus 600 or better. But at the same time, I don't want to put a full unit on that. I don't feel good enough about it. So I think it's a good one to stay away from because I think the line's right about where it should be.
Yep, for sure. I think it should be a winnable fight for Stamen, but Lucerda's dangerous on the mat, and if it hits there, it's going to get pretty interesting. We got Melon in the chat. What is up, Melon? Probaholic saying, yes, violence at plus money. Yeah, I'm taking the shot. We'll see what happens. Took Stamen KO plus 350. Drew's on the Lucerda by sub. Yeah, the guy's a phenomenal grappler. We'll see if he can catch Stamen here. All right, so we will move on to the next fight. We have Jailton Almeida going against Shamil Abdurakhimov. Gordo, we will start with you. What are you liking for this one?
Well, he showed up, or at least that's what we think of right now. He's here. So that was a nice surprise. I'm on the Almeida by KO here. I think it's a spot where I'm going to look for the plus money. I think Almeida by KO being priced as wide as it isn't what I expected. I get that Almeida has a terrific grappler. I think he has good submission skills, but against a guy like Shamil, who has been knocked out a lot recently, who is 41 years old, who has been controlled on the ground and knocked out on the ground as well, I think that the Almeida KO, let me check, make sure I get the right line on this one right here, is a bit wide. So Almeida KO right now is plus 220 best market wide. I think that's just a bit too wide. So that's going to be my best bet for this one.
All right, and I'm going to agree with you, and I have pretty much the same play, but I'm going a little bit more plus money here. I'm going to take Almeida to win, not only by KO, but I'm going to go first round KO, plus 330. He could obviously sub Shamil. But I feel like there is a good chance he can get the TKO, the ground and pound there. Shamil's been knocked out, I think, in his last 3 fights. So I'm going to take a plus 330 shot here, Shamil Abdurakhimov, for that first round knockout. Hoping he gets it done. Well, I know he's going to get it done, but hoping he gets it done by knockout with the TKO. Wheezy, are you liking anything for this one?
Yeah, to be honest with everybody, I already lost my bet that Shamil wouldn't even show up to the weigh-ins, and that was minus 10,000. I'm like the dude that bet $1 million on the Chargers at halftime last week. I've already lost my bet. But if you allow me to have another one, Brady, I would just like to take Shamil by, or I'm not Shamil, Jailton by knockout at plus 220 on Bet Rivers. It pays more than the sub, and he's either going to knock him out or sub him. And Shamil has been knocked out so many times already. I'd be surprised if the guy putting on Vaseline before the fight didn't actually stun him a little bit. So I think that
yes.
Maybe Gelatin gets a ground and pound knockout instead of a submission. So I think that would be the best way to play this. Almeida by KO plus 220. I'll take a shot on that.
Looks like we're all on the KO there. So what we're gonna do now, we'll take a quick break to see where we're at. So for me, and to make sure everything's correct, we have a lot of fights, so we don't want to miss anything. So right now I'm on Daniel Marcos decision only plus 150. I'm on the Nunez under 1.5 plus 122. Passing on Alves Dalby, passing on McKinney Bonfim. I have Stamen fight doesn't go to decision plus 150. Almeida KO 1 plus 330. That is all correct. Weezy, you're passing on Oliveira Marcos. You have the Nunez under 2.5 minus 165. Worley Alves minus 130. McKinney minus 115. Passing on Stamen Lucerda, and then Almeida KO. Is all that right?
Yes, it is. And I just want to tell everybody, I put out a greasy 4-leg parlay this week, and 3 of those are in the parlay. The first leg is the under 2.5 for Faron Nunez. The second leg is the McKinney money line. The third leg is the Alves money line. We'll talk about the fourth leg later.
There we go. Gordo, Daniel Marcos plus 120. You're passing on Nunez Faron. Alves fight doesn't go minus 133. Passing on McKinney Bonfim. Stamen fight doesn't go plus 150. And the Almeida KO plus 220. Is that correct?
That is correct. And let me say, good job finding all that plus money there. You're all plus money, huh?
That's what it looks like. So we'll see if that continues. I do have some chocolate plays that I really do like further on the card. So it looks like Gordo has used 2 passes. He has 3 passes left. Weezy has used only 2 passes. He has 3 passes left. And I've used 2 passes. We've all used the same amount of passes. So that's pretty cool. We are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 fights in, and we still have 9 fights to go. So we shall move on. If you guys have not already, like the video, subscribe. Go check out the rules down in the description if you don't know. And also go check out the standings thus far as well. All right, we'll move on to Gabriel Bonfim going against Munir Lazzez. And Weezy, we'll start with you. What are you liking for this fight here?
So I have a track bet on this fight, and it's the Munir Lazzez money line. I got it at plus 160 earlier in the week. But right now, I saw plus 150 before the fight on DraftKings. Is it still showing that?
Plus 145.
Damn it. Okay, we'll go with that anyway, though. Yeah, plus 145. I do see this kind of being a kickboxer versus a boxer matchup. Gabriel Bonfim is an excellent boxer. 100% of his finishes inside the distance, most of them by submission. But when you watch the tape on Gabriel, it's a little bit misleading how many submissions he has because he prefers to strike, clearly. He's just a very opportunistic submission grappler, and he usually hurts people on the feet and then submits them on the ground. But Munir Lazzez is a very talented kickboxer. Throws a lot of volume, uses his length well. He's got great step-in knees, got great head kicks, while Bonfim tends to use his hands as his only weapon. He throws some kicks, but it's going to be Lazzez who's going to be using all the limbs a lot better here. So I think while this fight is at distance, Lazzez is going to be winning minutes, and I think he's going to look good. And plus, he's just been to a decision a lot more in his career than Bonfim has, who has got a 100% finish rate. So like plus money on the Lazzez money line here.
All right, Weezy taking the plus money on Lazzez. I'm going to pass on this one. I'm going to use one of my several passes for this week. I don't know. I don't have a great read on this fight. I think, I'm picking Bonfim to win. I just don't love the price tag here. I probably, if I was forced to bet a side, it would be Lazzez money line side, just because I think if this fight does stay standing for 15 minutes, I actually favor Lazzez in terms of being the minute winner. I think he has more tools on the feet, whereas as it's Bonfim that's going to be the harder hitter with the knockout upside. It's just a pass for me. I don't even like any totals here. I'm just going to sit back and kind of watch this one. I think it's a great fight, but as far as a betting perspective, just nothing sticking out. So using that pass, Gordo, what do you like on this fight?
Yeah, I am going towards one of the totals. I'm taking the over 1.5. And I do think that this is a spot where you got guys who can kick from range. You have guys who can stand on the feet for 15 minutes. And when it's going to be a close fight like that, I don't want to pick a side. I just think it goes over. So I'm not a guy to take overs very often, but minus 150 over 1.5 rounds, that's where I'm leaning to this week. And it is a bet I have locked in on my actual betting slate as well.
All right. I don't hate that whatsoever. You got Boston Nick in the chat. What is up, Boston? How you doing? Go saying, what time did the fight start? And they start at 5:30 Eastern time now. It was supposed to be, I think, 6 earlier in the week. I'm not sure what happened, though, but it looks like they're starting at 5:30 there. Jalton round 1 finish. I'm right there with you. Jalton by KO or sub is the question. That is a really good question there. I agree. We're rooting for sub. Me, Weezy, and Gordo are rooting for the KO. We're rooting for the KO.
Yeah.
But we'll move on to the next fight. We have Thiago Moises going against Mel Costa, and I'll kick this one off. So I took the Thiago Moises by sub line, and that comes out to see if it's still there, plus 235. Yeah. So it's still there, plus 235 there on Bet Rivers. I think he subs Costa here. I think Costa actually is a really good striker. I like what I saw from the guy on the feet, but I think he does have a hole in his game with the takedown defense. He could be taken down pretty easily. And if Moises takes you down, you're going to be in some serious trouble. So I see no reason why Moises won't go for takedowns. I mean, there's some fights where Moises doesn't go for takedowns. This would be a matchup where it would just make no sense whatsoever. And if he does get this fight down to the mat, I think the submission's super live. So I like Moises here a lot, and I like him by sub a lot at plus 235. So that's kind of where I'm rolling on this one. Gordo, what do you like for this fight here?
Man, I really love the shot there, and I was really considering it, but I'm going to pass on this one. I think that it's a great plus money look, and I really commend you for it, but I do think that there are more variables to it. There are some other spots I like, so I wish you the best of luck, but pass for me.
All right, Gordo with the pass. Weezy, what do you like for this one?
Moises by sub plus 235 Bet Rivers. I mean, that was the exact same thought that I had. It was, you got to take some shots. You want some plus money numbers in there. Take some shots. Try to hit it big. And yeah, I think that while this is on the feet, it's going to be close. But I think if Thiago wants to make this easy, he takes this guy down, and submits him. And we've seen Mel Costa get submitted by other guys in his career. Italo Gomez had some success on the ground against him. Earlier in his career in LFA. And if you're getting styled on by Italo on the ground, you're not going to look very good against Thiago Moises. So I love that Moises by sub plus 235.
Yeah, right there with you. I like that line a lot. And I am on the inside the distance as well. But for the show, I'll give out the sub because, of course, like Lou says, it pays more. And that's what we're going for, right? Saying very good odds there, or very good odds there. Moises sub is the best pick. Yeah, I like it, especially at plus 240, 235. Moises sub is juicy. Keep it hush. There we go. Moises is going to dominate this Costa dude and finish him early. That's kind of what I'm thinking as well. I just think Moises is another level. And like I said, I was impressed with Costa, but Moises should be another level on the ground. Moises is underrated. Moises looked good on the scales. Yeah, he definitely did. All right. And then I go hard saying Bruno the Hulk, Ferreira, y'all sleeping heavy. Dude's an absolute beast. We're going to talk about that fight right now. I go hard. We'll see if anybody's maybe taking the big dog shot here on Bruno Ferreira. And he's taking Gregory Rodriguez. Yeah, the line looks like it closed up a little bit. Gregory Rodriguez opened at minus 400. He's currently minus 313. Bruno Ferreira opened up as a plus 300 dog. He's currently plus 263. Yeah, so some money is coming in on the dog and Ferreira. We'll start with you, Gordo. You liking anything for this fight here?
I am, and it's actually one of my favorite bets on the card, but it doesn't pay as good as Lou Bet you would want you to. But we're going with the fight ends by KO TKO. The fight doesn't go to decision is pretty juiced, but the fight ends by KO TKO is minus 165 right now. I think that's a decent spot here from two guys who are most likely going to stand and bag. Even Ferreira, who's a guy who people think are live. A lot of his finish wins are by KO, by ground and pound, stuff like that. So I like the fight to end inside the distance. I like to end by KO or TKO, and minus 165 is not a bad line for it, in my opinion.
All right, I like that. For me, I'm going to go a slightly different route. I still think this is a very violent fight, and I'm going to go with the under 1.5 rounds at minus 185 right now on DraftKings Sportsbook. Yeah, I think somebody's getting served here. Ferreira, this guy's a finisher, 100% finish rate. This guy's been to the second round, I think, once. He's never seen the over 1.5 round mark. I like that. He's coming in on short notice. I like that. And I think these guys are going to stand and bang. I think Rodriguez has a path here to potentially grapple. I think he's a phenomenal grappler, but a lot of times he just doesn't do it. He wants to go out there. He wants to go to war. And I think that's exactly what's going to happen. These guys are going to stand in the middle, and someone's going to land, and someone's going to get knocked out. So just give me the under here. It is my first minus money play of the card so far on the show. So give me the under 1.5 at minus 185 on DraftKings. Weezy, what do you like for this fight here?
Well, thanks to Dope Space Cowboy, I max bet the fight doesn't start round 3 at minus 112 on Monday. When, Brady?
Monday.
During Probability on the MMA Engine channel, which our guy MMA Propaholic just kindly wrote in the chat for us there. Because while we were live there, that line was, that mistake line was still hanging there. Everybody that was watching got to hit that. And right now, where is it? minus 360.
Crazy.
You know, so talk about beating some line movement right there. But the lines are juiced to the tits on this fight, so I am going to pass on it. I've got a max bet on this fight, but it just at a much better line than where it is right now. So I'm really happy with that, and just going to stay away because everything that I like and everything that I think is going to happen is completely overpriced.
Yeah, I agree. Big Moose saying any value on the Moises Costa under 1.5. I don't know if I'd bet that, but I'm personally picking the fight to finish under. I think it finishes pretty early. Any thoughts on that, guys?
That's a pretty juiced, you know, is it plus 150 or minus 150?
Plus 150.
Oh, that's a little bit different. Guys keep talking, but I'll punch that into the prop template here real quick and see.
Gordo, any thoughts on that?
I think that's largely dependent on the Moises side. So I don't know how much I'd favor that. Would that be something that we can get a better line on Moises and under 1.5? Maybe. I'm not as interested in playing that as a whole. I'd expect the lines to be a bit bigger than that, but who knows? Could be wrong.
Yeah, it's overpriced by about 6.57% when you compare it to the long-term benchmark for under 1.5, which is about 33% at the 155-pound weight class. However, this guy, Mike Gazelle Costa, 62.5% of his fights have finished inside the distance. Not a great finish rate either. So, but he's taking it on short notice. I think it's fairly priced at plus 150. Not something I'm running to the window to get, but also at the same time, I think it's a fat enough plus money number to be intriguing.
Yep, I agree. RoboCop in the first or second round, minus 110. I think that's much better than laying the minus 300 on him. I'll tell you that. Boston Nick talking about the Pub Sports contest. Yeah, if you guys have not joined yet, go to pubsportsradio.com. They're doing a contest, $100 the first. It's basically like Tapology. Just put your predictions, the pick, the round, the method, and see if you can come out first. I think I finished like third last week just due to Ketlin Vieira not getting it done, but hoping to maybe get first this week. All right, let us move on to the next fight. We have the 1-800-GAMBLER fight of the week, and I have a bet on it. So we'll see how that goes. Poteria going against Shogun. Wheezy, I'd be shocked if you had a bet on this one.
I do not, you guys. Please, let me just say, you might bet on this fight. Just don't be out there talking shit about your bet and how it's going to cash before the fight starts, because you might be eating your words. I mean, you've got a guy that, Poteria in skill level could never hold the jock of Mauricio Shogun, who at any point in his career before the age of, say, like 38, but he's 43 now. But he is fighting at home. They didn't bring this guy Poteria in to win this fight. I'll tell you that right now. They're trying to get Mauricio a win on the way out. Man, I wouldn't pay juice anywhere in this fight. I am staying away. 1-800-GAMBLER. If you know somebody that has a gambling problem, talk to them.
Agreed. This is bad. But I do have a bet on it. We'll talk about in a second. Gordo, what do you like for this fight?
I have a bet on it too. And oh man, Wheezy, don't get mad at me. No sack of oranges for me. I'm taking the under 2.5. Minus 188 right now. Minus 185 actually. This is another one where you said it perfectly. It's like not like Poteria is good, but he's facing the corpse of Shogun Rua. And is it going to be someone who is going to try to get a win in his last fight, or is it going to be someone who's going to go out there and could start round 1, round 2? I don't know. I think it ends one way or the other. I'm not saying Poteria is a world beater. We all know he's a fraud, but he does have more athleticism, more power to knock out someone who can't really intelligently land strikes too often or defend strikes too often in Shogun Rua. So give me the under 2.5.
All right, Gordo taking the under. I'm taking the violence route as well. I don't think Poteria is really good at all. I think he's going to get exposed in the very near future. I think his record's fraudulent. I think he has massive holes in his game, the cardio, the takedown defense, the get-up game, the ground game. But I have a feeling he goes out there and knocks out Shogun in the very first round. What Poteria is, he is dangerous. He does hit hard. And, Shogun, legend of the sport. But, man, I think he's been done for a while now. I thought this guy was going to retire like 3-4 years ago, and he's still going. And this is his last fight. We know, the last fights don't always end well. Give me Poteria to go out there and finish Shogun in the first round by knockout at plus 260 there. I think he gets it done pretty early. Boston saying Eor KO TKO minus 125. Eor money line. He's going to make old man eat them words. JR saying Eor sub 1 plus 1,000. I'm kind of leaning the knockout route there. Mahomes just got injured. Oh,
Yikes.
No. Oh, no. I didn't look at any football this week. It's been a big 15 fight card, so I'm out of the loop with the football. But man, that's bad. That's bad. All right, let's keep moving on, guys. We have the next fight. That is a very good fight. If I can pull it up, there it is. Yes, Johnny Walker, Paul Craig. This is personally my favorite fight on the card. Pretty close between this and the main event. I love Paul Craig. You know, a very exciting fighter, and so is Johnny Walker, a very exciting fighter as well. Weezy. We'll let you kick it off. Probably one of the most exciting fights on the card here.
Yeah, I've got 2 tracked bets on this fight. One of them is Paul Craig by sub, 1 unit, trying to hit the home run at plus 375. But that's earlier in the week, though that line, I believe, is long gone right now. But what I will give you is my other tracked bet, which is fight doesn't start round 2. I got it at a little bit better price earlier in the week, but right now it's at minus 120 on DraftKings Sportsbook. It's 15.6% overpriced when you compare it to the long-term benchmark for the division, which is about 38%. But it's the only one of the violence props for this fight that's available where Craig and Walker combined are actually performing at a better rate than what the implied probability of the line is. But what I mean by that is in their 24 combined UFC fights, Craig and Walker, their fights finish in round 1 about 59% of the time, and we're only paying 54.5% on the implied probability of the line. So minus 120, fight doesn't start round 2. When Walker's got the death touch when he hits people, and Craig is super sloppy on the feet and sloppy on his takedown entries, he could get Travis Brown elbowed. He could get hammer-fisted and knocked out. And he could also wind up getting a takedown on Walker because Walker's sloppy. He doesn't have great footwork or defense in terms of staying away from grappling attempts. And if Craig gets this to the ground, either by pulling guard or getting a takedown, a submission could come soon thereafter. So I see this fight finishing early. I see somebody getting served. And at minus 120 for fight doesn't start round 2, it's pretty much the only violence prop that isn't juiced to the tits.
Yeah, I'm going the same route, but I'm taking the under 1.5. Currently minus 169 on Bet Online. Kind of surprised me that money's coming in on the non-violence here and in a freaking Paul Craig Walker fight. But yeah, I think somebody's getting served here as well, Weezy. We have a striker versus grappler matchup where Walker's going to have just a massive striking advantage. I know Paul Craig's been talking all week. He's improved his striking. He's working on his striking. Walker's going to have the clear striking advantage. He's super dangerous. He's much bigger than Paul Craig, and I think Walker can absolutely knock out Paul Craig. On the flip side, Paul Craig can absolutely submit Johnny Walker. And if Johnny Walker either, makes a mistake, goes down to the mat, follows Craig down, Craig's very live to submit anybody off his back. It can be Magny alive with a second left. It can be Jamahal Hill who's fighting for a title. He can definitely submit Johnny Walker. So I think just stylistically, this leads to a very good violence spot. And it's not, like you said, completely overpriced like for the McKinney under your lane, like minus 240. You're only laying like minus 169 here. So I do like that. That is going to be my bet for this fight. Gordo, how about you? What are you liking?
Don't tempt me. I told myself I wasn't going to bet this fight and I was going to sit back and enjoy it because it is such a fun stylistic matchup. So I'm going to stay true to that. I am going to pass on this one, but I want to bet violence very, very bad. And I hope it comes through.
So Gordo is going to pass on the Walker and Craig fight. J Bone saying Craig sub 1 plus 1,000. I think that's his path to victory. I think he finishes Walker in the first round by sub if it happens. Walker Craig over 1.5 and doesn't start round 2. I don't get it. Why would you? Does that make sense to anybody else? Bet the over.
You can get it where if the fight ends in the last 2.5 rounds or 2.5 minutes of round 2, you cash both bets. Oh, no. Okay. No, that makes no sense. I thought that said fight doesn't start round 3. Yeah, that makes no sense.
Yeah, I don't know. I wouldn't do that. I would not do that. Jan saying Walker's grappling is always underrated. Yeah, I think he has good grappling, but man, you don't want to grapple with Paul Craig is the thing. I have Walker in the first or second round, plus 130 beat line movement there. Weezy, is Patrick Mahomes a bum?
No, he is certainly not a bum, man. I mean, how many touchdowns did he throw as a rookie?
He's a beast, man.
Was it like 50? I don't know. Crazy.
Or might know.
No.
Yeah, he's definitely not a bum. Walker via Elba, I can see that. Yeah, he's very good. All right. we will keep What's up?
I'm buying property in Scotland via established titles if Paul Craig wins.
There you go. Yeah, a lot of people taking the shot on Paul Craig. Nothing wrong with that. The guy's always a live dog against anybody. All right, we'll move on to Jessica Andrade, Lauren Murphy. Wheezy, what do you like her for this fight here?
Yeah, for this one, I've been trying to pull the trigger on this bet all week, but I just can't do it. But I like it. It's the over 2.5. Right now, minus 110 on DraftKings Sportsbook. Look, Lauren Murphy's only been finished once in her career, and it was by Valentina Shevchenko in round number 4. She's very durable. She's very tough. She's very strong. And I think I see one of the places where Lauren could actually win minutes in this fight is in the clinch, on the fence. She's very strong. So I could see this being a very greasy, slow-moving fight where they're clinching up against the fence and not much is happening. And if that happens, minus 115 in retrospect for the over 2, or minus 110 in retrospect for the over 2.5 is going to be a very interesting look.
Wheezy taking the over. I'm going to use up my pass. I think this is my fourth pass of the card, so I have one more after this, but I'm going to pass on this one just because I think Andrade wins this fight, and I'm very confident she wins the fight, but am I going to put one unit on a minus 510? No, I'm not. It wouldn't make sense. And then on top of that, like, I think this fight goes to decision. I think Andrade wins by decision, but I could also see a scenario where she finishes Murphy. So it's just a big pass for me. I like Andrade, but I'm kind of been going back and forth on the method here. So I'm staying away pass here for the Andrade Murphy fight. Gordo, how about you? What do you like on this one?
I don't blame you, but when you pass on fun fights because you want to enjoy them, you're forced to bet on something like this. I'm taking the opposite of Wheezy. I'm taking the Andrade inside the distance, and it's something that I've been looking at for a while, and I don't want to place my real money on it because of how tough Murphy is, but I can place this kind of money on it, right? This contest money, of course I can. I think Andrade is better everywhere. She's explosive. She has the ability to match up against Murphy. I know she is tough, but Murphy hasn't also faced anyone like Jessica Andrade, in my opinion. So give me the inside the distance, give me some violence here, and let's have some fun with it.
Let's have some fun indeed. That's pretty interesting. It looks like Wheezy took the over 2.5 at minus 110. You took the Andrade inside the distance at minus 110. So we'll see. One of you guys are going to be right. One of you guys are going to be right on that one. We'll see who.
Yeah, because Murphy has no finishing equity whatsoever. It's all on the Andrade side. So it's kind of like the same bet. That's it. And you could tell because of that they're properly priced.
Wheezy, I hope Andrade gets a finish with like 10 seconds left and we both cash.
That would be awesome.
Oh, that'd be nice. That'd be very nice.
We got to catch Lou, so maybe we can get that fight fixed that way, and then we can all try to catch Lou because he's got too big of a lead.
Yeah, maybe we can hit Derek Minner and see if he can help us out. All right, let us move on. Andrade will cream Murphy. What is it? To cream somebody.
It's a great word. I got to start using the word cream more often. That was a big one when I was a kid.
Gonna cream somebody. I haven't heard that one. Andy Mush saying Andrade round 3 KO. This is the swan song for Lauren Murphy's chin. Yeah, she's getting up there. She's 39 years old. And no finishing capabilities, but she's tougher than nails. Yeah, she's very tough. And that's why I'm kind of like going back and forth. Is she going to finish the very tough Murphy or not? But we're going to have to see. All right, let's move on to the next fight. We have Gilbert Burns going against Neil Magny. Gordo, we'll start with you. What are you liking for this fight here?
Yeah, this is one that I've been also staying away from with my own money. But for contest money, we got to catch Lou. We got to get these big plus money shots. Give me Gilbert Burns by submission at plus 220. I think that if he does decide to go that path, he does have the ability to finish this fight. I know he hasn't got a submission in a while, but Neil Magny loses all his fights by submissions. He's been taken down a lot by a bunch of these guys, and I think Burns is hungry for a win here. So give me Gilbert Burns submission, and let's hope it doesn't go awry.
Yep. So I'm going to agree with you. I think it goes that comes by submission as well. But I'm going to take the easier route here. I'm going to take Burns inside the distance, currently at minus 125, because I could see a knockout potentially. Burns has a ton of power. Magny's durability isn't once what it was, but I do think it's sub as well. I think Burns takes this guy down, and Magny, like you said, he's been submitted 5 times, and you do not want Burns on top. Burns is an incredible grappler. I think we'll have no problem taking down Magny, who has a little bit better than a 50% takedown defense, and once Burns on top, it's going to be trouble. Give me Burns inside the distance, minus 125. So I'm going the inside the distance route. You're going the sub route. Wheezy, which route are you taking here?
I'm taking the pass route on this one. It is the only fight this week that I didn't tape. 15 fight cards are an absolute nutcracker for us content creators. So don't have much of a lean on this fight. Definitely do love what both of you guys are thinking, though. I think Burns does get it done inside the distance. I think that sub prop is juicy, but I am just staying away from this one.
No interest in the Magny decision, which is plus 700. Wow,
man, that's fat. But no, I just can't. I can't see it.
Yeah,
Gilbert Burns is such an explosive fighter.
Yeah, man, Gilbert is good. I can't wait for this fight. It's going to be a really good fight there. Jan saying Burns inside the distance plus 109. Yeah, I got it on it at plus 110 earlier in the week as well. Money's been coming in on that. Burns under 1.5. Give me violence. Yeah, I think violence is the way to go. This one, it makes me feel weird. Magny decision only. Yeah, I think if you're on Magny, either A, the decision at plus 700 or B, the decision only is a really good way to play him this week. What's up, Josh? How you doing? Burns by finish. The title run starts now. Magny has been training with Hamzat. Start time 5:30 or only lock at 5:30. So apparently they're starting at 5:30. I'm not sure why they're doing that. I could have sworn it was at 6, but they just recently changed it. I missed the Burns plus money on inside the distance. Yeah, it's gone now. And you guys better be wrong about Bonfim 2. Bonfim 2, you mean Gabriel or
both? Yeah, both Bonfim brothers.
Oh,
maybe he's thinking, or I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I'm going 1-1 on them. So I think one wins, one loses, but they're both pretty close fights, I'd say. All right, let us keep moving on. We have 365 of you in here. If you guys have not already, leave a like, subscribe to the channel. I did link down Wheezy's channel. I also linked down Gordo's channel down below in the description. Also linked down there, you will find the rules to Best Bet if you have not caught along or if you are just joining. And then you'll also find the current standings. Right now, we just have 3 places, but after this week, you'll have 6 places. And then after 2 weeks from now, we'll have 9 places in. So we're going to get the full standings up shortly. But we're going to scroll all the way down here, and we're going to go to the Brandon Moreno, Davis, and Figueiredo fight. And there it is. So we have Brandon Moreno minus 130. Davis and Figueiredo is plus 110. I'm going to kick this one off, and I hate to do it, but I'm gonna pass on this one. If I was forced to bet this fight, it would have to be on the dog for me. I mean, they're so evenly matched. I just feel like neither guy should be favored in this matchup. So if I was forced to bet this, I would be taking the plus 115, plus 117. I really can't believe it's moved this far. I didn't think it would move at all because why should it? These guys are. It's gonna be a close fight. It's gonna be a very close fight. So I'm not touching it. It's a pass for me. I'm picking Brandon Moreno. I'm sticking with that pick, but I thought Figgy looked a lot better on the scale than I initially projected him to look. At 35 years old, after taking a layoff, after moving out of Fight Ready, I thought Figgy looked pretty dang good on the scales. But yeah, it's a pass for me. I'm curious to your guys' thoughts on this one. Wheezy, what are you liking for the co-main event?
I'm going to go with the fight goes to decision at minus 115 here. It's one of those things that you can bet for best bet, but you don't necessarily have to track a bet on it because, man, it's going to be a sweat watching, a 25-minute fight, hoping that it goes to decision with some, 2 explosive fighters like Moreno and Figueiredo. But I don't think anybody's ever finishing Brandon Moreno. I mean, the guy's durability is next level. And then, Davison, when he's not compromised by a bad weight cut, is also extremely durable, extremely tough to finish. So I see this fight going the full 25 and minus 115 for fight goes to decision. I don't think is a bad look here. We're against the analytics, but I'm playing the durability of Moreno and the toughness of Figueiredo as well.
Yeah, both guys super durable, especially Moreno. That guy is next level tough. Gordo, what do you like for the co-main event here?
Yeah, this is the one that I was waiting to see if I was gonna. I have one pass left, so it's either passing on this one or the main event, and we're gonna do it. We are going to try to catch Betya today, and we are going to play a narrative. We're going to take a bet on this spot right here, and it might be a controversial one because I've seen a lot of love of Moreno, but we are going Figueiredo this week. And not only that, we're going Figueiredo by decision at plus 310, largely due to the durability of both of them and the fact that we are in Brazil. We are in a spot where you have a hometown guy. You could get some hometown judging as well. So when you have a fight that is as close as it is, in a fight that I do expect to go the distance, Figueiredo by decision is something that I think is priced a bit too wide, and I'm coming for the crown, right? So give me that. I love this fight. we're going to see it a fourth time, and I can't put my I didn't want to put my money on it, but I don't get the line movement too much with the hometown and everything like that. So give me Figgy by decision.
You said plus 310?
Yes.
Gotcha. Yep. If Figgy wins, it's probably by decision, man. So we'll see. I'm gonna be passing this one. I'm gonna sit back and watching this one. The hidden saying Moreno money line or the under.
Complete opposite to what I said.
Yeah, I know. Adrian with another dono. Appreciate you, man. Saying great work, fellas. Wishing everyone makes that money. Yeah, that's the goal. Time to plug in that winning DK line up. Yeah, hopefully it's a great week in DK. Last week I got a takedown, first takedown of the year. But it was shared with like 120 people. So that kind of sucked. But I don't think there's going to be a ton of ties this week. Best of luck to you, Adrian. Thank you for the dono, man. All right. Here we go. All right, main event time. We have Glover Teixeira, Jamahal Hill. And we have Jamahal Hill minus 142, about Teixeira plus 122. Gordo, I think you're passing this one. But any thoughts on the fight as a whole?
I want to bet Glover Teixeira. I do. And I think that it is a very volatile spot each way because both of these guys' supposed weaknesses playing to the other's strength. So the under is juiced too much to my liking. I can see this going a multitude of ways, but gun to my head, I'd pick Glover, but I did save this one for a pass, and I'm going to stay away.
All right, Gordo with the pass. That is his last pass. Weezy, let me see. You have 3, 4. Weezy, you've used up all your passes, so I know for a fact you have a best bet on this fight. What are you thinking?
Yes, sir. I'm going to go with the fight starts round 3 on Bet Online at plus 130. I'm just betting on the durability of both of these guys. You know, Teixeira and Hill, both incredibly durable. And for the people who are saying that Hill's going to just starch, Teixeira in Brazil, in the first round or the second round, man, if Jiri Prochaska couldn't do that, it's going to be very difficult for Jamahal to do it. And, I just think that, Jamahal Hill is extremely durable. He's got great conditioning. Same thing with Glover. Glover's been in there with everybody. The last guy to finish Glover in round 1 was one Anthony Rumble Johnson. Rest in peace. So, and that was many years ago, you guys. So, yeah, I'm going to count on these guys' durability. Without question, it's going to be a very sweaty bet. But at plus 130, I think it's a good enough risk there that you can count on these guys' durability. I project this fight being an absolute war. I can't wait for it.
All right, and I'm going to end it with the Glover Teixeira money line. One last ride with the 43-year-old. Man, I think it's a close fight. I could obviously see Jamahal Hill going out there and knocking out Glover Teixeira. I think Hill's going to have an advantage on the feet. I like the speed, the power of Hill. But, man, I still have some question marks about Hill's ground game. He's been taken down multiple times by Santos, took him down 6 times, so 6 times. And Teixeira is going to get him down. It's just, Hill's able to pop back up against these other guys. Is he going to be able to pop back up against Glover Teixeira? And we're going to find out real soon tonight. Teixeira, I think he's getting counted out here just a little bit. And the whole narrative is he's too old, right? But, man, people have been saying he's too old for the last 5 years. So, he keeps getting counted out. He keeps on winning. I'll take him here. Plus 122. Going to take a shot on him to go out there and finish Jamahal Hill. I didn't really want to mess around with the finish or knockout or sub prop because just not a ton on it. I think Teixeira inside the distance was like plus 160, plus 140. So on Bet Online, it's plus 140, and the money line is plus 122. So I'll take the money line for Glover Teixeira, hoping for the upset here. Obviously, Jamahal Hill could knock him out, but I think it's a close fight that can go either way. We're going to see who is able to get their way there. Hill or the over 1.5. Teixeira in round 1 through 3, plus 245. Old man power. Yeah, see if he can get it done. Can we check that spreadsheet again? Yes, sir. We're about to get to that right now. Let's go, Glover. Let's go. Terrifying, but let's go. I feel like Hill's going to be the one who gets embarrassed. Yeah, he could. Glover Teixeira is no joke, even at 43. All right, so what we're going to do now is we're going to head to the sheet here, go over the bets, and then what we're going to do at the end of Best Bet is we're going to give our best bet of the card, and if you hit that bet, your profit is going to double. I forget what Lou had last week, but Lou hit his best bet, and then it doubled, so we'll see if we can get some here. So for me, I have Daniel Marcos decision only plus 150. I have the Nunez under 1.5 plus 122, passing on Dalby, Alves, passing on McKinney, Bonfim. Stamen fight doesn't go plus 150. Almeida KO 1 plus 330, passing on Bonfim Lazzez. Moises sub plus 235. Rodriguez under 1.5 minus 185. Poteria round 1 KO plus 260. Walker Craig under 1.5 minus 169. Passing on Andrade Murphy. Burns inside the distance minus 125. Passing on Figgy Moreno. And then Glover Teixeira plus 122. My best bet of the whole card is going to be the Paul Craig under 1.5 rounds at minus 169 here. I think it's a very violent fight. I think that this fight's probably going to finish in the first round even. I like the stylistic matchup in terms of, being violent. Walker with the knockout upside, Paul Craig with the submission upside. Both these guys are dangerous. Both these guys can absolutely be finished. Give me the under 1.5 as my best bet on the card. Wheezy, you have a pass on Oliveira Marcos. You have the Nunez under 2.5 minus 165. Worley Alves minus 130. McKinney minus 110. You're passing on Stamen Lucerda. You have Almeida KO plus 220. Lazzez plus 145 on the money line. Moises sub plus 235. You're passing on Rodriguez Ferreira. You're passing on Eor Shogun. You have the Walker fight won't start round 2 minus 120. Andrade over 2.5 minus 110. You're passing on Burns Magny. And then you have Moreno fight goes to decision minus 115. And then the Glover Hill fight starts round 3 plus 130. First off, is all that correct? And secondly, what is your best bet on the entire card?
Yes, that's all correct. And for my best bet of the week, I am going to war with a man who has war as the first 3 letters of his first name. Worley Alves, ladies and gentlemen. The money line is minus 130. I think he's the better minute winner. I think he's the better moment winner. He's at home. He's younger. He's a lot younger here. And I just see him cruising in this spot. I love that spot. And that'll be my best bet of the week.
All right, Wheezy taking Worley Alves for the best bet. Gordo, you have Daniel Marcos plus 130 on the money line. You're passing on Nunez Faron. You have Alves. Fight doesn't go to decision, minus 133. You're passing on McKinney Bonfim. You have a Stamen fight doesn't go plus 150. Almeida KO plus 220. Lazzez over 1.5, minus 150. Passing on Moises Costa. Rodriguez fight to end in KO, minus 165. The Shogun under 2.5, minus 185. You're passing on Walker Craig. Andrade inside the distance, minus 110. Burn sub plus 250. Figgy by decision plus 310. And then you're passing on Glover Hill. Is all that correct? And then what is your best bet on the entire card?
Yes, it's all correct. And I purposely did not make a best bet this week. I completely pussied out of it. But for this one, we have to pick a best bet, right? And we're going to go against everything Wheezy has preached all day. We're taking the Shogun under as my best bet of the week. I think that he's a guy going. It is also the widest odds, so maybe I am taking the coward way out there as well. But I think that is a corpse himself. But I also think that Poteria is a guy who is going to empty the tank early on to try to get that guy out of there. And if he can't, it should finish and could come back to haunt me. But we're going to take it.
Let's go. So that's the plays, guys. Check back next week. We'll have the standings updated. I'll do them tonight after the card. But now we're going to kick it around. Wheezy, let the people know where they can find you, what you have typically going on throughout a week of content.
Yeah, I mean, you can always find me on Pub Sports Radio every Sunday for Stat Diggers, every Wednesday for the DFS show that I do with Brady and Gordo, and then also Monk. And you can also find me there in a few minutes for the watch along for these fights. You can find me on my YouTube channel, Uncle Wheezy. I do Just a Tip on Tuesday nights. I do Ask Wheezy on Wednesday nights to give you a greasy 4-leg parlay every week. And you can find me on the MMA Engine YouTube channel where we gave out that under 2 rounds for the Rodriguez Ferreira fight at minus 112. I max bet that one on the air. So, yeah, check me out in all those places. And let's all stack cash tickets like flapjacks for UFC 283. Good luck to everybody.
Let's go. Let's go. Yeah, go check out Wheezy. His YouTube is linked down in the description, as is Gordo. Gordo, let the people know where they can find you, what you typically have going on throughout a week of content.
Yeah, appreciate you for having me on. I apologize for being a bit late, but they did change the time on me. I'm going to put that out there one more time. But you can find me on Twitter at GamblesGordo. I just put out all my full bet of my full slate of bets, as well as let's call it a best bet this week. Not really one. And then we also have me on YouTube at Plays and Fade Sports. I did a whole card breakdown from a DFS angle and a betting perspective. But all my work can be found on the Daily Fan MMA. That's where I do my written breakdowns. I do premium content with Brett Appley. Just sign there. Should be a lot of fun. And other than that, I look forward to getting my duel set up. We're watching the fights on one side and Chad Henne on the other side, who's out there throwing passes for Patrick Mahomes. So I wish everybody the best luck this weekend and good luck.
Let's go. I completely forgot football already started. I did not. We were competing against the Chiefs game, but it is what it is. Thank you all for hanging out. Regardless, if you guys can leave a like, subscribe, check me out on Twitter, DFS_numbers, Instagram, DFS by the numbers. Like I said, if Jose Nunez wins, I'm going to post a tweet that I've been working on throughout the week. So hopefully it's good. But yeah, guys, like, subscribe. We'll talk to you guys soon. Best of luck for UFC 283. Enjoy the card, guys.